Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Oliver. We're continuing with section 2.3 today, which is about subtracting real numbers. And we're doing practice C today. So let's start. 1 through 12, find the difference. So let's start with number 1. 24.5 minus 16. And we know that when we see two minuses, that equals to plus. So this becomes 24.5 plus 16, and this is 20, 30, 40, 40.5. So 24 and 16 is 40, and then this 0.5, 40.5. Number 2, 17.6 minus 3.5. This is the same thing. When we have two minuses, that equals plus. So this becomes 17.6 plus 3.5. 17 and 3 is 20. Then 0.6 can be written as 0.5 and 0.1. 0.5 and 0.5 is one whole. So 17 and 3, we said 20, and one whole, 21, and then 21.1, right? So this is 21.1. Number 3, we have 20.8 minus is plus 35.2. This is 35 and 20, that's 55, and this is 56, right? 55, 56, yep. Next is number 4. We have minus 9.6. Minus equals plus 14.8. 14.8 is greater than 9.6, so the sign will be plus, the sign before 14.8, and then 14.8 minus 9.6. So this is 5.2, and why? Because if you add up 5.2 and 9.6, you're going to end up with 14.8. Now, the way I did it is 14.8 minus 10, that's 4.8, and then from 9.6 to 10 is 0.4, so 4.8 and 0.4 is 5.2. So plus 5.2. Number 5, we have minus 8.5. Minus, that's plus 10.2. 10 is greater. We have plus sign, and this is 1.7. Okay, so 10 minus 8.5 is 1.5, and this 0.2 is 1.7. Okay, number 6, we have minus 4.1. Minus is plus 3.65. Minus is greater. 4 is greater than 3, so minus. And then 4.1 minus 3.65. This is 0.45. Why? Because if you add up 0.45 and 3.65, you end up with 4.1. And so the way I did it is from 3.65 to 4, it's 0.35. 0.35, and then 0.1 is 0.45. And the sign is minus, so minus 0.45. Okay, number 7. We have 4.25 minus, that's plus 6.8. Two positive numbers, we're adding up. 6 and 4 is 10, and then 11.05, right? 6 and 4 is 10. 0.8 and 0.2 is one whole, so that's 11, and then 11.05, because 5 is in the hundreds, right? This is the tenths, this is the hundreds. So it's 0.05, so 11.05. Okay. Next one, number 8. We have minus 7.25. Minus, that's plus 2.8. 7 is greater than 2, so the sign will be minus, and then 7.25 minus 2.8. So let's say 3. So this is 4.25 and 4.45. 4.45 is the answer. And then you can add up these two numbers, 4, 5, 6, 7.25. So yes, this is correct. Okay. And if you can do it this way, I mean, you can always do 7.25 minus 2.8. And then this is 0, right? So 5 minus 0 is 5. 2 minus 8 you can do, so you borrow 1 from here. So this is 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. And then this is not 7 because you borrowed 1, so this is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. So 4.45, this is what we got here. Okay, so you can always do the math this way. Number 9, 7.28. Minus minus, that's plus 3.69. Two positive numbers, so plus. 7 and 3 is 10. So this is 10.678997. So 10.97. So this is plus 10.97. And let's do it again. So 7 and 3 is 10. 10.6789.7. Yes. So you can always do it on the side here to verify if you're not sure. 9 and 8 is 17. 7 and 1. 6 and 2 is 8. And 1, 9. 7 and 3 is 10. 10.97. That's what we got. Okay. Next, 10, 11, and 12 are fractions. So we've done fractions in the previous two sessions. So let's review. So we have to get the greatest common denominator. So for 8 and 6, 16. 8 and 16 is 16. So we multiplied 8 by 2 to get 16. So we have, when we multiply the denominator in a fraction with a number, we have to also multiply the numerator by that same number. Otherwise, they're not going to be the same fractions. So since we multiplied 8 by 2, we have to multiply 3 by 2 here, which is 6. Well, let's just write this 3 times 2. And then minus 7, it stays minus 7 because minus 7 is already over 16. So this is 3 times 3 is 6, minus 7 over 16. Or this is minus 1 over 16. Okay. Number 11, have minus 2 over 3. Minus minus, so that becomes plus 3 over 5. Greatest common denominator is 15. 3 times 5, 15. So we multiply 3 by 5. So we have to multiply minus 2 by 5. So minus 2 times 5 plus 3. Now here, from 5 to 15, we multiplied 5 by 3. So we have to multiply 3 by 3. So this is 3 times 3. So minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. Plus 3 times 3 is 9 over 15. Or this is minus 1 over 15. Minus 10 plus 9 is minus 1. So minus 1 over 15. Okay. Number 12, we have minus 5 over 6. Minus minus is plus 7 over 8. The greatest common denominator between 6 and 8 is, let's try with 8. No. How about 2 times 8, 16? No. How about 3 times 8, 24? Yes, because 4 times 6 is 24. So 24 is the answer. How did we get 24 from 6? We multiplied by 4. So we have to multiply minus 5 by 4. And then plus. Now 8, we got to 24 by multiplying 8 by 3. So we have to multiply 7 by 3. So this is minus 5 times 4 is minus 20. Plus 3 times 7 is 21 over 24. So which one is greater, 21 or 20? 21 is greater, so plus 21 minus 20 is 1. So 1 over 24 is the answer for number 12. Okay. Next, we have evaluate the expressions when we have two variables, x and y, and x is negative 8.25 and y is 6.9. So we have from 13 to 24. Okay, let's start with number 13. So it is x minus y plus 6.1. So x is minus 8.25, so minus 8.25, minus y is 6.9, 6.9, and then plus 6.1 equals. So here, since we have two numbers that are very close to each other, 6.9 and 6.1, so let's add up these two numbers. So we write this here, minus 8.25, and then which one is greater, 6.9 or 6.1? 6.9 is greater, so minus, and then 6.9 minus 6.1 is 0.8, 0.8, and then now we have two negative numbers, minus 8.25 and minus 0.8. So we're adding up two negative numbers. So minus and this is 9.05. Okay. So you can do it on the side, 8.25 and 0.8, 5, 8 and 2, it's 10, 0 and 1, 8 and 1, 9, 905. That's what we got here. Okay. Number 14, y, which is 6.9. So 6.9 minus, and then in parentheses, we have minus, and then x. X is minus 8.25 plus 7.5. So that equals to 6.9. Now we have three minuses. So minus and minus is plus, but then we have this minus. So this is minus 8.25 and then plus 7.5. So here we have these numbers close to each other, these two. So we can do those next. So here I'm going to do equals 6.9. Which one is greater, 8 or 7? 8 is greater, so minus, and then 8.25 minus 7.5 is 0.75. Or this is equal to, which one is greater, 6 or 0? 6, so plus, and then 6.9 minus 0.75. It is, it's basically 5.9, and then you add 0.25 to it, so 6.15. So it's 6.15. And you can do it here on the side, 6.9 minus 0.75, this is 690. So 0 minus 5 you can't do, so you borrow 1 from here. So this is 10, 10 minus 5 is 5. Now this is not 9 because we borrowed 1, so this is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1, and then 6 minus 0 is 6. So 6.15, 6.15, that's what we got. Okay, this is 14. Number 15, x. So x is minus 8.25 minus, and then minus y is 6.9 plus 4.2. That's equal to minus 8.25 minus 8.25 minus minus is plus 6.9 and then plus 4.2. Let's add up these two positive numbers. So this is this equals to minus 8.25, and then when we add up two positive numbers, we end up with 6 and 4 is 10, 11.1. 11.1. So I split 0.2 with into 0.1 and 0.1. 0.1 and 0.9 is one whole, so 6 and 4, 10, and one whole, 11, and then 11.1. And then plus, because 11 is greater than 8, 11.1 minus 8.25 is what? So let's do it here on the side. If you can't do it in 1 or 2 seconds, then you do it on the side. This is 8.25. So this is now 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. This is you borrow 1 from here. So this is 8. And then this becomes 0. So we have to borrow 1 from here again. This is 10 minus 5, so 2. So 2.85. 2.85 is the answer. So let's do it. Let's verify. 8 and 2 is 10. 11.1. So yeah, this is correct. Okay, that is 15. Let's do 16 next. We have 8.25. 8.25 minus, and then minus, and then x is minus 8.25, and then plus y 6.9. This is the same as 8.25. Minus and minus is plus, and then this minus, so minus 8.25, and we can see these two will cancel out, and then plus 6.9. These two cancel out, and this is just 6.9. 6.9 is the answer for 16. 17, we have y 6.9. 6.9 minus 3.2 plus x. X is minus 8.25. So let's add up the two negative numbers. So we have 6.9, and then we're adding up two negative numbers. So minus 8 and 3 is 11. So 11.25, and 0.2 is 0.45. So this is minus, and then 11.45 minus 6.9, that's 4.55. And then you can add up this and this number to verify that it's 11.45. So 4 and 6 is 10, 11.45. So yes, this is correct, minus 4.55. Number 18, 7.25 minus y is 6.9 plus x is minus 8.25. These two numbers are very close to each other, so let's add up these two numbers. So 7 is greater than 6, so it's plus, and then from 6.9 to 7 is 0.1, so this is going to be 0.35, 0.35. Okay, so we have plus 0.35. Let's see. We have plus 0.35 and then minus 8.25. So the answer will be minus, because 8 is obviously greater than 0. And then 8.25 minus 0.35 is 7.9. Okay. Why? Because 0.35, what I did is I separated it into 0.25 and 0.1. 8.25 minus 0.25 is 8. And then we have to subtract 0.1 from 8, and that's 7.9. And the sign is minus, so minus 7.9 is the answer to 18. Next one is 19. So we have 7.9. So 7.9 minus y is 6.9, and plus x is minus 8.25. 7.9 minus 6.9 is 1. So this becomes 1, and then minus 8.25, or this is minus 7.25. Okay, 20. Have minus x, so minus, and then x, what is x? X is minus 8.25 plus 7.8 minus y is 6.9. So minus and minus is plus 8.25. 7 plus 7.8 minus 6.9 is plus 0.9. Okay, and this is, we have two positive numbers, we're adding up two positive numbers, so this is 9.15. So I split 0.25 into 0.15 and 0.1, 0.15 and 0.1. So I did 8, and this 0.1 with adding it to 0.9 is 1 whole, so 8, 9 wholes, 9.15, 9.15. Hopefully that makes sense. Otherwise, you can do it on the side. Number 21, minus y. So minus y is 6.9 plus 2.25, and then minus, and then x is minus 8.25. So minus 6.9 plus 2.25. Now these two minuses, this is plus, and then we have another minus, so minus 8.25. So let's add up the two negative numbers. Actually, let's add up, this was 6.9. Let's add up these two numbers because they have 0.25. So it's going to be easier. So we're going to do, which one is greater, 8 or 2? 8 is greater, so minus, it's going to be minus. 8.25 minus 2.25 is 6. Okay. And then we have two negative numbers we're adding up, so minus, and then 6 and 6 is 12, 12.9. So 12.9 is the answer to 21. We have three more problems here. 22, we have minus 6.3. So minus 6.3 plus x, and x is minus 8.25. Then minus, and then minus y is 6.9. So we have minus 6.3 minus 8.25. And then minus and minus is plus 6.9. Let's add up these two numbers because they're both start with 6 point. So which one is greater, 6.9 or 6.3? 6.9 is greater. So let's write this one down first, minus 8.25, and then 6.9 we said is greater than 6.3, so plus, and then 6.9 minus 6.3 is 0.6. 0.6. 8 is obviously greater than 0, so the sign will be minus, and then 8.25 minus 0.6 is 7.65, right? And then you can add up these two numbers just to verify. So this is 8.25. Yes, so this is correct. So that was the answer to 22. Next is 23. And here we have absolute value. Okay, so we have absolute value of minus x. And we know that absolute value of a negative or positive number equals to positive number. So what is x? X is 8.25. So this whole thing is going to equal to 8.25, positive 8.25, because we know that absolute value of any number, negative or positive, is going to be a positive number. So x is 8.25, so just 8.25, and then plus 14.25, then minus y is 6.9. Let's set up these two positive numbers. So this is plus 14 and 8 is 22. So 22.5, because 0.25 and 0.25 is 0.5. And then we have minus 6.9. 22 obviously is greater than 6, so plus, and then 22 minus 6, or we can say 22.5 minus 7, that would be 15.5, and then 15.6. And then if we add up 15.6 is 6.9, we should get this. So 15 and 6 is 21, 22.5. So yes, this is correct. And 24, absolute value of x. So x is 8.25. So this whole thing is 8.25. Then minus 8.79. And minus y is 6.9. So let's add up these two numbers. So 8.7 is greater than 8.2, so minus, and this is, if we do 7.75, if we do 0.75 minus 0.25 is 0.5, so this will be 0.54. And then if we add up 0.54 and 0.25, we should get 0.79, and that's what we do, that's what we get, so this is correct. And then minus 6.9, we are adding up two negative numbers, so this would be 7.44. 7.44. That is 24. Next, 25 and 26, we have to find the change in temperature or elevations. So temperature for number 25, because that's the degrees in Fahrenheit, and then elevation, that's 26, because we have meters. So what's the change? So from 2, so from 6.2 Fahrenheit to minus 13.8 Fahrenheit. So here what you do is you subtract the 2 from the from. So this becomes minus 13.8, and then minus the from 6.2. Now we have two negative numbers. This is 13 and 6 is 19, and then 20. So minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit is the change. Okay. So that was 25. Number 26, this will be minus 2.2 minus, and then the from is minus 8.37, or this is minus 2.2, minus and minus is plus 8.37. 8 is greater than 2, so plus, and then 8.37 minus 2.2 is 6.17. Right? If we add up 6.17 and 2.2, we get 8.37, so that is correct. So plus 6.17. Okay, number 27, a florist wants to order roses more accurately from a wholesaler. The florist keeps a record of the total number of roses sold in a week. Determine the change in the number of roses each week. Find the total of these changes to determine the total change in the number of roses over the 4 weeks. Okay, so we have the 4 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the number of roses sold. This is in dozens, so this is 12 roses, but that's okay, right? All right, so the question is, we have to determine the change in the number of roses each week. So we have to find the difference between week 1 and week 2, week 2 and week 3, week 2 and week 3, and week 3 to week 4. So what we do is, first we do 32 minus 45. So 32 minus 45. So this is minus 13. So minus 13 dozen roses is the difference between week 1 and 2. Then this one would be 38 minus 32, or this is 6. So plus 6 is the change here between week 2 and week 3. And then between week 3 and week 4, that's 34 minus 38. So minus 4 is the change here of the number of roses sold between week 3 and week 4. So that is the answer to the question, determine the change in the number of roses each week. Now, the next question is, find the total of these changes to determine the total change in the number of roses over the 4 weeks. So we have to add up these numbers here, basically. So it's minus 13 plus 6 and minus 4. So minus 13 and minus 4, it's minus 17, and then plus 6, or this is minus 11. So that's the answer. So the total change in the number of roses over the 4 weeks is minus 11 dozen, right? This is all dozen. Minus 11 dozen of roses. This is minus 13 dozen. This is plus 6 dozen. This is minus 4 dozen. Number 28. Okay. Ocean creatures. The maximum depths at which some deep sea creatures can be found are shown in the table. Which two creatures have the largest difference between their maximum depths? Okay. So we have the creatures. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures. We have the maximum depth, and this is in feet. And we have to find the largest difference. So the largest difference is, if we can sort these, the smallest and the largest number is going to be the answer. So minus 1800 looks like it's the lowest number, and then minus 10,000 is the largest number. So that's the largest difference. Okay, so what is that difference? Well, which two creatures have the largest difference? That would be the chambered nautilus and the giant squid. Okay, the lowest and the largest number. What is the difference? It's basically, we have to do, if you remember, this is the sea level at 0. So the maximum depth of chambered nautilus is minus 1800 feet. And then for this other creature, it's minus 10,000 feet. So we have to find this distance here. Since both are negative numbers, we just have to subtract these two numbers to get this distance. So 10,000 minus 1800 is 8,200. So what is the difference? It is 82 1,800 feet. It's 10,000 minus 1,800. Okay. Next, which two creatures have the smallest difference? Okay. So if we sort these, the closest ones to each other are going to be this guy here and this guy here, right? So it's the deep sea angler and the deep sea hatchetfish. The difference between them, what is the difference? The difference between them is just 400 feet. Okay, the difference is just 400 feet. Because the difference here is 1,200, this is 2,000, this is 1,600, this is who knows what. So the smallest difference, the closest to each other, are these two creatures here, because their difference is just 400 feet. Okay, and the last problem for today is 29. The challenge: use integers to write an example that satisfies the given conditions. If it is not possible, explain why. So when we have a positive integer minus a negative integer equals a negative integer. Is this possible or it's not possible? Okay, so let's say positive. So let's say if it's 2 and then minus and then a negative integer, let's say minus 1. This is minus and minus is always plus, right? Plus. So this is, since we have a negative number, this doesn't matter if it's 1 or 3 or 5. This doesn't matter if it's lower or greater than this number. This here is always going to be a positive number. So since this is already a positive, positive plus a positive, this is always going to be a positive number. So this is not possible. So A is not possible. Okay, not possible. B, negative minus negative equals positive, because I'm negative, let's say minus 1, then minus, and then another negative. So let's say minus 3. So this is minus and minus is plus. So plus 3 is greater. So this is going to be a positive number. So yes, this is correct. So because this is minus 1 and then plus 3, this is plus 2, which is a positive number. So so yes, this is possible. Okay, so this is the example for number B. Okay. And then C, negative minus positive equals positive. So negative, let's say minus 1, then minus positive, let's say 5. So this is minus 6. So it's, even though here, if we choose, even if we have minus 2, and then minus a number smaller than this number, so 1, this is always going to be a negative number. Why? Because we have a minus here in front of the positive integer. So this is always a positive integer, but we have a negative sign because of this negative sign, and we already have a negative here. So we're basically adding up two negative numbers. This is always going to be a negative number. So this is not possible. So C is not possible. Okay. D, positive number. So let's say 5 minus positive number. Oh, okay, to get a negative number. So if this is greater than 5, say 6, this is minus 1. So it is a negative number. So this is possible. So this is possible, and this is the example. Okay. So that's all for today. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please like this video, share it with your friends, and then subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And I'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.